It's Bewitching Hour, our monthly episode,
where we discuss the spiritual and mystical happenings around the world.
Or sometimes the unworldly dumb things people do.
We're joined by my skeptical best friend, Amy.
And our resident believer, Krista.
And today, I am so stoked. We are talking about 2024 trends and the weird shit that's already gone down in just 2 weeks of January. However, today actually is a very important day. National Religious Freedom Day is January 16th. And that's why I was pushing us to record today. Although this will air after the 16th, probably not till closer to the end of the month, but really big deal, right? Mm-hmm. Okay, first of all, we celebrated MLK Day yesterday, which is very tied to religious freedom, First Amendment. We talk about this a lot as religion relates to freedom of speech and practicing of your religion. And today, really not only important because it's the day of religious freedom where Jefferson and Madison signed the original piece of that part of the Constitution. And so that's what we're honoring today. And not only that, as it is 2024, it's an even year. And you know what that means politically.
Oh, yeah. I just heard the news about Iowa.
Yes, I know. I was just at my parents' and I was like glommed onto the news bites because I saw DeSantis lost, and that's scary as fuck, obviously. And not that Trump's any better, but the biggest plug of this top of the hour, Bewitching Hour, is that there was a video, I don't know if you saw it or not, of Trump being seen as godly. And it was reported by the New York Times that it apparently offended some of the Iowa religious leaders who actually really helped Trump get to power. So that was a little bit like about a week or so ago.
Wait, I have questions. So Trump released it, his campaign?
His people, yep.
It's showing him, is it suggesting it or outwardly saying he's God?
Well, a little bit of both, girl.
Or just that he's Christian? Because you may sound like he's saying, I'm God.
Very pretty much on point does that without saying it verbatim. The messaging and the undertones and the imagery are pretty scary, that he really thinks he's God. And that thankfully there were some religious leaders that offended in Iowa. Unfortunately, as we know now today, didn't really go too far because he's still winning.
Yeah, too late. But my question, did you watch it?
I think they took it down. I couldn't find it because it was something that was public, but it was more so for like an event prior to him taking stage before the Iowa caucuses and like rallying, if you will, like a hype video before he came on stage.
Oh, okay. So probably for one of his rallies. That makes sense.
Yes, exactly. And you know what? I'm so sorry. Speaking of hype videos, we need to hype our damn selves, Sal. Please rate, review, and subscribe Bewitched Banter. We are now on YouTube, as you can see if you're watching us. If you're on Spotify or Apple Podcasts or audio anywhere, we do have video. If you want to see these voices, put a name to a face, please check us out. And email us at bewitchedbanter@gmail.com if you have topic ideas or comment suggestions. And as Amy always says, be kind, please.
And we don't just have radio voices. We have beautiful faces, as you can see on video.
Damn right. I'm owning that shit this year. So this video of Trump is really scary. And somehow he's still in the race. And he's literally comparing himself to Jesus. So this New York Times article published just a few days ago, January 11th, by Ken Bessinger, was titled, "Iowa Pastors Say Video Depicting Trump as Godly is, quote, very concerning." Guess not so concerning where he's still in the lead.
I'm sorry, but that's concerning. It wasn't the million other things where he led an insurrection. He said he'd grab women by the pussy. This is where they start clutching their pearls. I mean, it's a little too late.
The line for these religious leaders. So yeah.
Oh, you crossed the line now. You can treat women like shit. But this? Okay, you can't do that.
Yeah, I can't even go there. But apparently, so it was his campaign, Truth Social, by one of the religious backers that run that campaign on his behalf. And they played it before several of the Iowa rallies. Again, this portrayed him as this higher power, sent to save our nation, and using very Masonic religious tones, depicting him as the shepherd of man. Sorry, now I have to laugh. You're gonna laugh at this too. Depicting Trump as a shepherd of mankind, chosen by God. Sorry, y'all.
Chosen by the idiots of our country.
I can't. So some of these pastors, obviously a key constituency for him, expressed shock and offense, God forbid, pun intended, because Trump compared himself with language from the Bible, comparing himself directly to God. Specifically, Pastor Joseph Brown of Marion Avenue Baptist Church, which Baptists are nuts.
Has this guy been like asleep for the past 6 years and now he's offended?
I know. It's only because he's using God. Like, it's all bullshit, as we know. But anyway, this pastor, Joseph Brown, said that there's only one God, and it's not Trump or any other man. It's me, even though I'm just a man. No, just kidding. That was ad-libbed, the end part there. But he was really offended. And he wasn't the only one. There were other religious leaders' opinions that were showcased dismay that Trump was literally comparing himself to God. And there's a quote, hold on, it's coming, that Trump said he's like Moses, essentially. And the Iowa's population, as we know, has always been a really important state to presidential elections. And as we get closer to it, 8% of people identify as evangelical or describe themselves as evangelical in that state. So therefore, obviously, we know that population was unfortunately one of the ones that helped get him elected in the first place. And despite rarely even attending church, Trump has gained support of these people, as we know.
I mean, we've covered that at length before.
Yeah. So it's just wild.
It's not wild. I would say it's scary. Like, these are our two choices. And then, I don't know, the last time the election happened, I was like, seriously, almost half this country voted for Trump. That's terrifying. You look around at your neighbor and you're like, every other one probably voted for Trump.
Yep. There's so many Trump signs along Central Avenue too. It's like, or there were. There probably will be very shortly too.
Oh, like in the rich area?
Yeah.
That
along
makes sense.
that corridor. It's really scary. Okay. So the group's founder that supported this video was Brendan Dilley, and he claims to be Christian, but he doesn't even attend church either. Yet still, he posted a meme depicting Trump as Moses in response to the video's controversy. So here we are, folks. 2024, and this guy's still somehow
and everyone said it's going to be their year. Let's see.
Oh, God. That's what we did in 2020. Nobody say it.
Yeah.
Nobody go there again, please, ever. Because look what happens. Oh, my God.
Terrifying.
All right, we're going to move on to a little bit more of opinion pieces about or politics and religion. And my question is, what the fuck ever happened to separation of church and state?
That's been long gone.
And it just makes me really sad.
Think about school. Like we always had to do like a moment of silence so people could pray and stuff like that.
Yeah. It's very scary. You've seen it obviously firsthand in the classrooms. I've seen it firsthand as a writer and not people being chastised just for expressing their views and just believing in it. We see it across the world today. We won't get into that controversy, but there was another opinion piece by Yahoo News, and this is a professor of ethics at Fresno State, California, published just 2 days ago on the 14th. And apparently Trump wrote that Biden should rot in hell. I don't know if you saw that. Have you?
No, because I feel like every day there's a new headline about him, so it's hard to keep up.
Yeah. So he calls Biden and other Democrats thugs. May they rot in hell. And before the Iowa caucuses again in Christmas, Trump said, quote, "Our country's gone to hell. As soon as I get back in the Oval Office, I'm immediately ending the war on Christmas. Under crooked Joe Biden, the Christians and Americans of faith are being persecuted, and government has been weaponized against religion like never before, and also like presidents like never before," end quote. I wish I could do his accent like Amy's husband, Corey. I cannot. I'm not going to do it because I can't. Okay?
No, I can't do it either.
I can't do it. I don't want to do it. But he's calling Biden the devil, essentially, and that he should rot in hell. So really great for our future president to tell our current president to rot in hell. Really just classy. Grade A, folks. Grade A plus.
I mean, we already know he can't handle even losing. So he's not, I don't know. I feel like the subject is like, what is there to even say at this point? I don't know. I'm just hoping we are not fucked with the election results, and I guess time will tell.
But why, talking about thugs, this motherfucker's literally been indicted. I don't understand what people don't see. And I know it's cognitive dissonance, and I know he's in people's pockets, and I know that, but like, those people are fools.
Well, and I think to me, which is mind blowing, it's not even just a small population of people. It's so many people have bought into his lies.
Or pretended not to see it because they benefited in some financial way.
A lot of it's the media is to blame. They, like Fox News, I don't know how they get away with just outwardly saying lies. There should be a disclaimer at the beginning of any show and say, this is purely entertainment. Things may be told to you that are not true. And they should have a disclaimer when this has not been fact checked. The thing that drives me crazy is just they get away with it. And that's why these people live in a different universe, because they're getting a total different reality spun to them. I don't know.
And I will say on both sides, they do that, as very strong opinions about that. But Fox is obviously not where I lean. However, there should be exactly what you said. If this is an opinion, it needs to be said, these are talking heads' opinions. This is not fact. This is not truth. This has not been proven. This is somebody's opinion. That's it.
Yeah. I feel like Fox is the biggest offender. I know every news outlet's going to be biased. You can't avoid it, but still, it's like Fox is a whole different story.
Yeah, I'm blocking it out, which I know is bad because that's what we did in 2020. We're in denial that he won, or in 2016 rather. But I don't know.
What else can we do? I mean, there's only so much you can control, and that's basically your vote. I mean, you can't control everyone else. So at a certain point, it's like staying up and losing sleep over it. There's other things I want to stress. I would rather spend my energy worrying about.
Exactly.
I did tell Corey, though, I was like, I need to renew my citizenship because I will seriously leave if he wins. I was like, I want to get the hell out of Dodge.
Oh, yeah. Speaking of Religious Freedom Day and Founding Fathers, this article that I just mentioned from the Yahoo Opinion piece about this very problematic situation in our country right now of no separation of church and state. Mm-hmm. Madison and Adams actually used to have very heated political debates and beef with each other because of their different religious beliefs and ways to run the government, with or without said beliefs. Mm-hmm. And turns out that they were even able to reconcile in the 1800s after one accused the other of atheism, blah, blah, blah. Who cares? That's probably best for our country. I wish there were more theists allowed to run, or they are allowed to run, obviously. I wish that they would be accepted as into the, the caucuses? I don't even know. See, that's how bad I am.
I'm sure they've been running, but it's like openly admit you're atheist.
Right, exactly. So even they were able to squash their beef because they were free-minded enough to have a moderate discussion of religious liberty and the critical role it plays, and thinking about all of our beliefs and how this place is supposed to be the land of the free, but as we know, that's not true. A little baby recap for World Religious Day, or Religious Freedom Day. There was a study done by CEO World very recently. This was published, I believe, past week, and this article was written by Christina Miller. And it's you'll like this, actually. It's very fascinating. And there are, as I'm sure you're aware, a growing number of atheists in our country. This study is based on the analysis of more than 3,000 censuses, surveys, and population registers across the world. And obviously, understanding religion and beliefs is very challenging, very subjective. Some people might be religious, some might be spiritual, some might have different forms of practice or what they consider God or not God. Very, very subjective. But there was approximately, based on this study and all of the 3,000 plus censuses and populations, 4,000 to 4,300 religions globally, And again, give or take those numbers because of how people perceive religion and spirituality. So Christianity still ranks number one as that world champion, comprising of 32% of the global population, with about 2.2 billion, with a B, followers as of this year. And obviously includes an array of denominations that we discuss all the time: Catholicism, Protestantism, and Eastern Orthodoxy. But regardless, the bubble of Christianity, very still widely the forerunner. Do you know what second is? You want to take a guess?
Muslim.
Islam, the second largest, with over 1.6 billion.
I mean, I knew, I was like, Muslim people. I couldn't think of the word.
But it does say Islam. I would love to know the difference between the two because I messed it up too. But projections indicate, because in the same sentence, they use the word Islam to describe this. They make up about 23% of the world's population. And projections indicate that by 2050, so just 25 years from now, Islam may rival Christianity for the number of followers it has around the world. And this one's for you, my dear friend. Number 3, or third ranking, non-religious folks. 1.2 billion people globally identify as unaffiliated with any religion or beliefs, or hold atheist beliefs, which makes them the third largest in the world behind Christians and Muslims.
Really? I'm so surprised.
Around the world. But this is more surprising to me, this next little nugget. This population of non-believers or atheists has a lot of prevalence in China and Japan, which I thought was very interesting because you think of Buddhism, Taoism, those type of more traditional Eastern Asian religions. But speaking of, number 4 are 500 million, so we're back down to the M's, Buddhists, making up 7% of the world's population. And finally, 14 million Jewish folks, making up 0.2% across the globe.
More atheists than I expected, which I like because I think they're more logically. Actually, it has been proven they're more logical leaning. So that's a good thing, especially with its 2024 election coming up.
Yeah. So check out Amy's episode, P.S. Shameless plug again, on Your Brain on Religion. And she did a really great job taking us through believers and non-believers' brain chemistry. And she's done a really good job over the last 2 years of making me more skeptical. I believe I will always hold some type of belief in.
I like how you said, I believe in your belief.
Because it could change, right? And I'm open to that. That's the thing. That's a difference for me and other folks that are so staunchly whatever their belief is. I like to think that I'm open to listening and learning, and maybe something will happen that will change me over. But as of this juncture, I believe in some type of higher power. Who or what that is, I don't know, but I still very much align with that belief. So agnostic. And then finally, to wrap this up, more than 6% of the world's population practices folk traditional religions, including African traditional religions. We cover voodoo early on in our Bewitched Banter days, cover that. Check it out. Chinese folk religions and Native American religions. And then finally, there's the Australian Aboriginal religions. Okay. And then there's a 58 other million people that belong to others, such as Baha'i, Jainism, Sikhism, Shintoism, Taoism, not Taoism, Taranko, Wicca, hey Wicca, and I've never heard of this. We might have to look into this one for a future ep. Zoroastrianism.
Oh, I've heard of that.
What is that?
I don't remember, but I've heard of it. Just through like my research on Bewitched Banter, it came up as something to cover before.
Yeah, you should do that. I'm very curious. Okay, so that's enough of religious topics today in Bewitching Hour. We're gonna fly right along, or glide right along the skies.
I'm assuming aliens are next,
and UFOs.
Oh, okay.
All right. Again, though, we are still talking about the government, taking religion a little bit out of the sector, but we are going to be talking about how the government has been releasing many docs being leaked and or almost punking us, as you also cover in our aliens episode. So we're talking about UFOs. And I have a little funny story about this. Actually, Jen came over this weekend. And apparently Nate, her husband, is super into his newest thing is UFOs. I'm dying. It's so fucking funny. And so apparently he thought he saw a few. And one was recently in San Diego or somewhere when they were traveling to California on the ocean. He thought he saw a UFO. And so much, dude, that he called MUFON, which I forget what it stands for, but it's something about, like, it's like basically the alien hotline.
Okay.
Nonprofit.
Yeah.
And
was it just a satellite?
It was, I think it was just a drone. And Jen was
okay.
That's like a fucking drone, dude. And anyway, not only did he call them, but like the other day she said they were driving to like back from their hike or something or camping. And he gets a call and he's like very serious. And it's a voicemail, excuse me. It's a voicemail. And it's like, hello, Nathan, this is so-and-so from MUFON. I got your message. And the MUFON guy called him back and left a message about his inquiry into this UFO above the waters in California. And I was dying. And Jen was like, and then he called him back and she was like, he wouldn't talk to me. He was like all serious and shit.
That's kind of cute, but crazy at the same time.
I know. It's like, Nate, I love you, but whoa.
Hey, who's to say he didn't see a UFO? Because someone has to report it first.
True. And I believe in that shit for
sure.
That's
what I'm saying. Why is it so funny, I guess?
That just because he took it that seriously that he straight up called MUFON and MUFON called him back. I think that's the funny part. But
you wouldn't call if you really thought you saw something?
No, man. That shit scares me.
Why would be calling MUFON scary, I guess?
That's not the scary part.
The to your core believed you saw a UFO, you wouldn't tell anyone or report it?
I would be, well, A, your ass would make fun of me. So no, I wouldn't tell you. And two, let's say I did call them and they called me back, like they called Nate back. And then they like somehow were able to prove it was real. That's the part that scares me, is what I was trying to get to.
I'd be cool though, because you'd be the one who saw it. Moving
on to another alien story in California. Actually, other side note, Amy got me into Jersey Shore for the first time. I'm a recovering Jersey Shore addict now. And
you're not recovering, you're still addicted.
I am full on. Actually, after we record this, I'm about to go binge it, but I'm addicted. Like, I just want to know. But Sarah, her last name is Petrozelli Camili, so it just reminded me of that. And she sent us this crazy story from November 6th of the end of last year, which dovetails into the next little alien story. Okay, mystery solved after strange UFO lights were spotted in the San Diego sky, which may or may not have been the ones Nate called about.
See, he was doing something smart.
TBD. I have to confirm that with Jen at the time frame. However, these strange lights appeared above the city, and they left some asking, "What's that?" But it's a big city, so it could be anything, right? There's going to be lots of light phenomena happening with that many people in concentrated populous metropolitan area. What were the strange lights? And were they debunked, Amy?
I'm assuming they're debunked if you're asking me.
Play along a little today. Jeez.
I was just saying.
Napoleon,
it's kind of obvious.
It was actually a new U.S. Navy parachute team called the Leapfrogs, who stage jumps for like big events across the country. Mm-hmm. This event happened to be made up of Navy SEALs and a bunch of other very highly trained parachute jumpers. And they posted to X, formerly Twitter, ahead of the jump to explain, and said on their X account, and said, if you see UFOs in the sky tonight around 6:20 p.m., it's probably us. And to have fun with it, as they were jumping into the soccer stadium for the National Women's Soccer League, they had like little flares that they released just for funsies to fuck with people.
Oh, cute.
So, moving now into the story that Sarah did send us. This as of January 7th, so just a week ago.
Okay.
And you may or may not have seen this in our DMs or on the news or TikTok, but it did blow up on TikTok, saying Miami police have debunked online rumors of an alleged alien sighting after a mall was shut down.
I haven't heard this story.
So it's fucked up actually for public safety, but Miami was set into chaos as reports of the mall was being shut down by police. Many videos on TikTok and Facebook emerged of people fleeing and rushing out of the Bayside Marketplace, which is a downtown shopping mall in Miami. On New Year's Day, videos apparently captured what people say as shadow people.
Okay.
And unfortunately, no shit, it was not actually shadow people or aliens. It was actually a group of more than 50 young people fighting and stealing shit. So just causing a ruckus and a scene. But among the ruckus, apparently there was some type of like shadow that was captured on somebody's phone while they were filming this chaos. And so that person, whomever it was, like started rumors that it was an alien. And so then...
so what is a shadow person? I've heard of shadow people, but I don't actually technically know what it is.
So there's a lot of different lore about them. Actually, they're related to my sleep episode, that they can be either paranormal in some cultures and beliefs and religions, where it's like the Hat Man, where when you have sleep paralysis and it looks like there's a very big figure of a shadow over you and suppressing you and basically sitting on your chest. That's one view. The other view is they're extraterrestrial beings that have come down to torture you, essentially.
Oh, okay. Okay.
A lot of different views about that in cultures and religions around the world. But apparently somebody in this mall saw a shadow person while this fight was breaking out and blew that shit up on TikTok. Because, of course, who doesn't want to watch alien shit, right? We all do, I think. Very curious, at least, if they exist or not. And this user claimed that they were 10 feet alien creatures.
Who said that?
The Twitter user or the X user. That's what they tweeted. And obviously it was debunked. Even William Shatner of Star Trek said on X, so apparently space aliens visited a mall in Miami. Wink, wink. And many other people apparently claim they lost Wi-Fi hours after the incident and alleged that nearby airports had been shut down. So obviously if you're not there, you don't know the facts, it's freaking people out on socials. The police chief added to the fun and he said, quote, "This is a shadow of a person walking. If you look at the beginning of the clip, you can see the person at the bottom of the shadow. If there was any creature, myself and other officers would have had a handgun, rifle, and shotgun ready to basically attack, even though who knows what aliens would, if it would even kill them." But then he continued to write in an email to NBC, there were no aliens, no airports were closed, nothing was withheld from the public. And in his email, he literally ended it with LOL. This is the police chief. Like, come on, folks. Like, LOL indeed. So that's the alien and UFO news of January in the stars in the sky.
How many people were shoplifting?
50 kids.
Oh, 50. Young. Wow, that's a lot.
It's like a mass group of youths just causing havoc. So it's sad because like then it made people run out, right? Like in my opinion, that reminds me of Sandy Hook based on like a shooter, right? Active shooter situation.
Yeah, I mean, we're trained now as Americans. That's your first thing to think.
Yeah, just a wee bit fucked up.
So that must have been something they like put together through social media. If there's 50 of them, that's scary.
Yeah.
Have you heard of the Gilbert Goons?
Like our Gilbert?
Yes. Have you heard about it?
No, tell us, please.
I need to look it up, but I don't know all the details, but I keep hearing about it. It's like a gang that's in Gilbert and they're a bunch of teenagers and I think they like murdered someone. And they've been like, I need to check my facts, so I'm totally probably wrong on this, but I think they were like tweeting stuff out and like beating people up. It's scary.
Holy shit.
I was like, damn, parents don't go through enough having to worry about a school shooting. Now they have to worry about this gang roaming in their town.
Fucking sickening.
But yeah, I need to look it up. I don't, because I've heard like 2 people tell me, and I was like, I need to look up what actually happened. But I think someone was murdered, and they were teenagers, which is crazy. I'm like, the world is fucked. Basically, moral of the story. Today's news.
2024.
Well, let's talk about aliens. It's a little more fun.
On that note, because religious and politics is way too heavy, aliens are a little fun. Let's end it on a light note, if we will. Some astrological facts of January, if you care to know some of them.
Do I? I don't know.
Do you know the signs of January, the zodiac signs?
It's Aries and Capricorn, I think. Or Aquarius.
Aquarius. Yep. Yeah. Cap and Aquarius. The birthstone is garnet, and it comes primarily in the color of red, but it can also be shades of orange, pink, green, and even black or brown. And the birth flower is carnation, and there's obviously different meanings of the different colors of them around the world. And traditionally, the colors white are purity and luck. Light red is admiration. Ooh, la la. Dark red, love and affection. Pink is gratitude. Yellow is disappointment or rejection. Oh shit. That's why yellow's friends. Oh, nobody give me friend zones. Nope. And then there is purple, which means capriciousness. So that is some of the wild things that have happened already in 2024. And please vote. I know we talk about it a lot. We mentioned it in our coming episode on Lilith, the goddess. Moral of the story, go vote, please, because said moral of this episode is that it's a little bit scary times right now. So please do educate yourself. Practice your beliefs in strength and courage, whatever they are, but also have respect for others' beliefs. And that's my little soapbox. We have a few really cool things coming up, though, this month. As I said, this will be out after Lilith airs, but Lilith is a badass bitch, likes to ride the D.
Demon/witch who likes to ride on top, and is Adam's first wife. Like Adam and Eve's tale.
Yup. And then we also have a really cool special guest, my friend Tina, who will be coming on to read more of an actual forecast of 2024, a numerology report for Amy and I. And Tina has done over 3,500 readings for folks. So really excited to see what Amy's year has in store. I've done a little bit of mine with Tina, but she's going to go in depth for both of us. So if you're into that, stick around for that. And also perhaps one of the famous queens in Phoenix. We have to TBD on that, but we're working the magic here.
Be smart.
And peace, Bewitches.
Thanks for listening. Check us out on Instagram or bewitchbanter.com. Suggestions for the show? Emails at bewitchbanter@gmail.com. Credits, music Phantom Fun by Jonathan Boyle from premiumbeat.com. Podcast edited and produced by Krista Hinz and Amy Holt. As always, if you enjoyed, please rate, review, and subscribe.